Yeah, thank you. Nick Wyrick here on my right, Eli Vogels on immediate here, and Eddie Leon on the far left. This has been a heck of a run that we went on here in the month of May, and unfortunately we ran into a really good baseball team in Coastal Carolina. Give them a lot of credit as far as the quality of their team and to knock us off. But I'm really proud of, and I don't use that word lightly at all, I'm really proud of what we accomplished, especially down here the stretch, what we accomplished as a program. And the reason that these three guys are here with me today is because it's about program right now. And these three guys have been through it, through the transition of coaching staff, through the build of the new ballpark, going from the bottom of the conference to the 4 seed. We've accomplished a lot, and I couldn't have done it without the leadership of our senior class, especially these guys that have been there from day one with me, even before I got there. So a lot of love for them, a lot of love for this team. I've been doing this a long time, so I told our guys, I've been doing this for a long time, and I've coached championship teams, and this team's special. This team's right up there because of that word team and the family that we've built. And, coaches have philosophies and core values that I put out in front of a team, of a group of young men. Some grab, and these guys grabbed it and bought in 100%. And we were in this position. We got in this position. We earned the right to play all the way, to Saturday here in this tournament. And it's way more about who we were as a team, more so than our ability to run, throw, and hit a baseball. Thank you.
Joe Healy, D1 Baseball. I'll start over here with Eddie. Tell me a little bit about the conversations that dug out, what's happening as Coastal's kind of adding on, but you guys have a runner on in just about every inning. So tell me a little bit about the mindset as you guys were trying to scratch late in the game.
Just finding a way to get the runner in. That's all we've been preaching the whole year. Just we got to run around, we got to find a way to get them in. We'll never not believe in each other. We're a really close team. We believe that anybody in that lineup, in the bench, can change the game in an instant. So just a matter of executing when we can. We obviously didn't execute when we could have today, but there was total belief the whole day. There was never a time of getting down or like, oh dang, that's it, it's running away from us. Like, we believed until the last out that we could have won that game.
And Elijah, I have to imagine just the way you guys have played in this tournament has just fueled that belief, given the fact that you guys had to punch back basically the entire time you've been here.
Yeah, just like what he said, like we don't ever look down and like think we're done. Like, we don't think that. Like, if there's outs left, we're still gonna play. So we came back from 8-run deficit in the last inning and the last 2 innings of the game. Get some really good teams, and we know we could do it, and we just played relentless. And I think that us just going about that, and I think it spreads to the whole team, and we all believe in each other, and that's the big thing.
Nicholas, I'll go to you next. I have to imagine, just given how what a workhorse you've been out of the bullpen this season, there was really no way you were staying off the mound today.
Yeah, probably not. I wanted one more inning, but credit to our pitching staff. We have an incredible pitching staff this year. It's just about handing the ball to the next person, trusting the guy in front of you, trusting the guy behind you, trusting our hitters that they're going to get us the runs, and we're going to support them on the way there.
And then, as a pitcher, how much, just given what Bryce has been the last couple of years for you guys, I have to imagine, even coming back on short rest, that you guys had a lot of confidence with him on the mound.
I had all the confidence in Bryce. He's a competitor all the way through and through. I knew he was going to give us his all. He was going to pour his heart out for his team today, and that's what he did.
I'd like to, if I could start over here, if you guys can tell me what this season has meant. You heard Coach talk about what this season has been. So for you guys, from your perspective, what it's meant to be on a team that's achieved what you guys have and made a run here.
It's meant the world. We were obviously part of 3 Marshall teams that had losing seasons, and the culture wasn't the best at all. And us being the young guys of all those teams, we told each other hey, this is we're the seniors this year. We're not gonna let it happen. We're not gonna waver. It doesn't matter if we lose 56 games in a row. We're not gonna have a culture of losing or going to a game we're gonna go through the motions. Our main goal was to set this program in the right direction. And I mean, from what I think we did this season, I think we set it in a great direction, and I don't doubt this team being ranked for the next 2 to 3 years.
No, I mean, it means the world, just like he said. You know, like Coach Bills always says, we're in the time of our lives. And, you know, I had the time of my life this year. And just trying to enjoy every single moment and don't take anything for granted. And I think that, you know, this team is special. I mean, like, discount us, man. Like, this team is going to be really special. Like, you better watch out, man. You know, like, I'm telling you. So that's what I think about this year. That's all I got, man.
Nicholas, what do you got?
Yeah, just going on what Eli said, this team is special. They got a lot to look forward to in the future. Big program ahead of them and everything like that. But this team just straight up fought. We fought. We came from the bottom the past couple of years and we worked our way up and we fought, and they're going to keep fighting.
Coach Free, you mentioned a little in your opening statement, but what do you take away from this group, and what lessons would you like the younger guys that are going to come back to have taken from this group?
Well, at first, we put ourselves in a position to see what it really takes to be here in Montgomery and to play the top team. We got to play Coastal 5 times this year. So you see what it takes, and we just got to keep growing. Play a little bit cleaner, get another hit here and there, and continue to play with that competitive toughness. That's one of our core values, is competitive toughness, and this team embodied that big time. The message and the takeaway is these guys lit a fire. We lit a fire this year, and we got to pick up the torch. The guys that are left over and our coaching staff and the returners, we got to pick up the torch and make sure that flame keeps burning, and even add some wood to it, and so it burns brighter. And that's a tall task that we have ahead of us, but I certainly look forward to it. I look forward to that opportunity to keep building this program.
Yeah, I'd like to ask you about that if you don't mind. Like, what's your feel for to get that 2% more out of a team? Like, what do you feel like is maybe that gap that you're looking to take care of this offseason and moving forward?
It's a great question. I think there's a level of confidence. There's a level of just the word trust we use a lot. Trust in ourselves, trust in all of our systems that we play in, trust in our teammates. That grew significantly this year. But the biggest trust is the internal trust that a player has. That internal trust in their ability and their game plan and their willingness to just sit in there and execute and stick to it and stick to that process. That's kind of, I think, what's next is just that grows. Obviously, hit a little better, pitch a little better, play a little better defense, all those things. But I'm a firm believer in that if we execute our core values and our beliefs on a daily basis and stick to the process, all those things, the game itself will continue to grow.
My last thing for you, I'm kind of curious for your take on, just from a league perspective, you've got a team like Troy that kind of feels like maybe they're in a precarious spot. You guys had a really hard-fought series against them this season, so I'm just kind of curious. You've played a lot of regional teams in your career, Coach. How do you feel like they are with regards to being a team that should be in that large bid when you see them on Monday?
Well, I certainly think they should be. You look at their record, you look at who their losses were against. They ran into a Southern Miss team that is as hot as Coastal Carolina. That's going to be a war tomorrow. Yeah. And I'd rather be playing than watching, but I'm going to enjoy watching that game as well. Yeah. To see those two teams get at it. So I really believe that Troy is a regional team, and those games that they've played, they've been in them. It's not like they got waxed, and they're way behind. And we played a lot. We played Georgia Tech this year. We played West Virginia. And Hawaii, and obviously the teams in our conference, and Troy belongs in that group, in my opinion.
And then, Coach, I've got a question for Zoom, and then follow up with all the players. This is from Tyler Kennett. Coach, you talked a couple weeks ago about a vision you had for the community, to build a community that rallies around baseball when you first got there. It seems to be growing and growing each season, so just talk about that growth that you see.
Well, it starts with the clubhouse, you know, with the locker room. It starts with our team. But we've worked really hard to rally our community around us. We have a very strong community in the university level and in Huntington, West Virginia. And we want to give them, you know, we built a beautiful ballpark, and the community was in on that. It didn't just happen. It took a lot of work in the administration at our university and at the city level and the state level all to get that done. And I just want to continue to grow, you know, that community around. And when we can get 1,500, 2,000 people in that ballpark, that feeds the program. So we're going to continue to work to strengthen that niche between our ball club and our community, so we have a special environment there at Jack Cook Field.
And then from a player's perspective, you know, we'll start right to left. How have you seen that grow over your time, and what has that meant to you to be a part of the Marshall family?
It's meant the world, man. Obviously, we started out at the Deuce, and what we call the Deuce. It's the YMCA at Kennedy Center out on Route 2. It's like 15 minutes away from campus, and we'd had Chad Heiner's parents and a dog there cheering for us against God knows who, you know what I mean? And obviously having the stadium and just the crowd behind us, like it's a whole other atmosphere, man. Like when we went to Southern Miss last year, and that's what we strive for, is to have an atmosphere like that shows up every weekend, every midweek, just cheering you on, heckling the other team. Like that's what it's about, man. And the Marshall community's like just as good at that, if anything. I mean, now they're almost like they're learning how to like be a part, have a stadium and have a baseball team. They're learning the chants, the claps, and everything. Like it's gonna be fun, and it's definitely gonna help us win a lot more games, and it's special.
Just backing off what he said, you know, about the YMCA Center, all that stuff, but you know, the Lord's blessed us with this awesome facility, and you know, the clubhouse, you know, it's top notch, and I mean, so like, just having all the fans there and everything, we feed off that, and I think he hit it right on the nail, and just the Lord has blessed us, man, and they got to take out and run with it.
Yeah, 100%. We've been blessed with the field we got, and to feed off what Coach was saying earlier with the culture that we grew, it just feeds the fans even more, because they get to know the players better, and they like the players better, and they know that we're fighting and we're working our tail off to get better.
Yeah.
I want to follow up with a little story if I can.
Yeah, go ahead.
In less than 2 years, we started a dugout club with our community. In less than 2 years, we have a membership of almost 300, I think it is, in our dugout club. And the night before the home opener this year, we had a dugout club reception, and I asked these guys to come to that, and they showed up. I met them at the door, and I'll never forget. They look at me and they're like, "This is all for baseball?" Like there was a great crowd there that night to support, you know, and obviously the dugout club is a baseball specific group of alumni and fans and people in our community, and like I said, that fires guys up, and I'll never forget that moment when they walked in. They're like, "This is all for baseball." It's like, yeah, man, this is for you guys. This is what we're building, and we're still in that process. These guys have got us in an unbelievable direction, but you know, my task is to keep that thing rolling, get it and keep it growing.